just got even more insane news about Spider-Man Brand New Day that includes some story details, hints at who the female villain could be, a connection to Shang-Chi 2, how this movie's gonna affect Doomsday and Secret Wars, and you know what happens when someone like me gets a little breadcrumbs. I make a full course meal because I have some theories that make this all make sense. You smell that? Someone cooked here. And either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. And this news comes to us exclusively from Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus. I would definitely recommend giving this article a read, and I'll put a link down below if it's possible. But in this article, Alex Perez dropped a whole bunch of bombshells from what their sources are telling him about pre-production for Spider-Man Brand New Day, specifically from the costuming department. It turns out the costuming department for Spider-Man Brand New Day has been researching Asian-inspired armor, and more specifically Japanese-style armor that you would see on a samurai or a shinobi. Now, I'll come back to this in a second, but let's move on, because they also got information on a new female character who's being described as dark and mysterious. I'm curious if this is going to be the female villain that they've been trying to cast for a while now. But either way, it said that her look is definitely more Japanese inspired, and it looks something more of like a kimono, but it said to look a little bit more modern, and it actually looks more like a Star Wars character. And they even gave us these images as a reference for what it kind of looks like. It's also said that this mysterious female character carries a katana. Now, that's all the information that we got from Alex Perez and the Cosmic Circus. The rest of this is just going to be my theories and opinions on what I think all this could mean. And taking that description into account, it's hard not to immediately go to Yukio. Hi, Yukio. Not that one, but haha. I'm talking about Yukio, who most of you are probably familiar with from the Wolverine movie. You know, she wears a black kimono. She is known for wearing black in the comics, and she got that katana on her at all times. And don't forget the throwing knives. But I just don't think it's going to end up being Yukio because I just don't see a connection between her and Spider-Man, really. She's definitely more associated with the X-Men and Wolverine particularly. And real quickly, I do want to mention that Alex Perez speculated that maybe it could be the Spider Queen from the Spider Island storyline in the comic. But I just don't see them doing this at all. I don't think any of these costumes even match what she would wear in the comic. And I just don't see Destin Daniel Cretton wanting to work with another giant CGI kaiju when we just got that in Shang-Chi. And on top of that, it also goes against all the reports that this new Spider-Man movie is more grounded. So that really just leaves me with a couple of options from a Spider-Man perspective. I think Yuri Watanabe makes a whole lot of sense as Wraith. I mean, she is a Japanese character. She has more of a scythe than a fucking katana. She really likes Scorpion for real. Get over it! But I'm just not sure if they would do Wraith right off the bat. I feel like you have to build that relationship between Peter or Spider-Man and Yuri, and then seeing her slowly turn as Wraith. But it's definitely not unfeasible. Like, they could definitely do this in Spider-Man Brand New Day if they wanted to, especially when you consider the fact that Martin Lee's Mr. Negative is most likely going to be the male villain of this movie. Maybe Mr. Negative and his inner demon gang are responsible for turning Yuri to the dark side, because justice is not enough, so she's going to take it into her own hands. I'll come back to Mr. Negative as well because I have some thoughts on him. But going back to the samurai armor, while it definitely could end up being Wraith, I think the much more likely option is Menace, because when you take a look at Menace's design, it definitely has some Japanese inspired armor, and the mask even kind of looks like one of those demonic masks. And while it's not a katana, she does keep a blade on her, and I think this makes a whole lot of sense for her having a kimono as well. Because I mean, just take a look at Menace. It looks like she's wearing a kimono and then also a bunch of samurai armor along with the mask. And I've been speculating that I think this main female villain is going to end up being Menace because of the Brand New Day storyline. It just makes a whole lot of sense. You know, another possibility could be the Queen Goblin, just because her armor looks like a samurai armor, but like, I just don't see them doing this at all, at least not yet. I'm still sticking with my initial theory that I think the main villains are going to end up being Mr. Negative and Menace, but I'm not going to rule out Yuri just yet. And mind you, Spider-Man Brand New Day takes place between Doomsday and Secret Wars, so it's most likely going to be happening concurrently with the events of Doomsday, which allows it to be a little bit more grounded until that post-credit scene, which most likely will end up being multiversal, connecting into whatever the Untitled movie is in November or Secret Wars. But I think we ain't done yet, because according to that redacted guy on Twitter again, so take that bit with a grain of salt, but apparently Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to end up having connections to Shang-Chi 2. And this actually makes a whole lot of sense when you consider the fact that Destin Daniel Cretton is responsible for the Shang-Chi franchise and will be working on Shang-Chi 2 whenever that comes out. I'm not gonna hold you, that kind of just intrigues me even more. Like, could this Japanese stuff be the hand? And while I think this is wishful thinking and I don't think it's very likely, I would love to see this team up in live action. Like, dog, if we ever got a scene like this in live action of Shang-Chi training Spider-Man after he lost his spider sense, if you think Spider-Man got hands now, just wait until Shang-Chi trains his ass. If y'all think Spider-Man is a problem right now, just wait until he learns the way of the spider fighting style. This man is gonna be a demon. And also, I just need the Hyphen brothers to be together, you feel me? But one last thing with Mr. Negative before we get out of here, I said I would come back to him. In case you don't know, there's apparently leaked concept art of Daniel Wu, who apparently is the front runner to play Mr. Negative in Brand New Day, as Martin Lee and Mr. Negative. and it looks like they're gonna go fully practical with his face if this concept art is real. There's been conflicting reports, but it sounds interesting. And if you've seen Into the Badlands, you know just how great Daniel Wu would be as Martin Lee, because this right here is just like perfectly Mr. Negative's fighting style. You know, me personally, I've been saying it, I would love Stephen O. Young in the role. He was literally born to play this role. And going back to the Japanese costuming of it all, a lot of people get confused because while yes, Martin Lee is Chinese, his Inner Demons gang actually wears a lot of Japanese inspired masks. They range from Oni masks and Hanya masks, and that would explain why the costuming department told the Cosmic Circus they were looking at Asian inspiration armor. But obviously, I'm not gonna hold you, bro, like Japanese armor is the toughest Asian armor. I just said it, I don't care, I said it. And even Mr. Lee knows that shit, bro. His Inner Demon gang is Japanese and he's Chinese, bro. Even though he's supposed to be the literal embodiment of yin and yang, I love that he's just making his own damn culture. Let me take it a step further, because we were introduced to Feast in No Way Home, which Aunt May ran before she got. And ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, take one big guess who's gonna take over Feast. Bingo! And on top of that, we also have every single member of the cast that's been confirmed in one rumored role. Obviously, we got Tom Holland returning as Peter Parker Spider-Man. Zendaya, of course, is set to reprise her role as MJ, and hopefully they let her have her red hair. Hopefully they don't get back together in this movie. He just watches over her the same way that Andrew's Spider-Man watched over Gwen in the Chasm movies. But yeah, I almost forgot to mention, yeah, Sadie Sink, she's not playing Jean Grey, she's not playing the new MJ, she's not playing Firestar. I think a lot of you guys overestimate her star power. While she is gonna be the new love interest, I think she's gonna end up being Carly Cooper, and I know a lot of people don't like this character. But remember, MCU, adaptation, she's probably gonna be an amalgamation. My thing is, I think she's gonna be playing Carly Cooper mixed with Jean DeWolf, or basically, you know, just a younger version of Jean DeWolf. It actually has so many layers to it because Jean DeWolf always had a big crush on Spider-Man, but she got before they could really go anywhere. So now having her have a relationship with Peter, and then she gets, that's how you get your death of Gwen Stacy. So I definitely think she'll be I definitely think she'll be some type of amalgamation of a character. Definitely makes sense for her to be named Jean DeWolf, because then that would explain why a lot of scoopers thought she was Jean Grey, because they heard Jean and went crazy with it. The other day, announcing another cast member, Deadline revealed that Jacob Batalon was definitely returning as Ned Leeds in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So probably gonna play a similar role to MJ. Oh my god, what if him and MJ are together? And please, for the love of God, do not make this man the Hobgoblin. I never felt bad for an inanimate object until this moment. We don't want you, we don't want this, little bro. You aren't even Ned Leeds. You are Genki. You are Genki. You are MCU-fied Genki. And just yesterday, it was announced that Zaya Colon Zayas has been cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day in an undisclosed role. She definitely could end up being one of Peter's teachers at ESU, or even one of his neighbors at his apartment complex. But mind you, she is of Puerto Rican descent, just like Rio Morales. We could be getting another tease at Miles Morales, and shit, he might even appear in a little role. I'll think I'm crazy, but they've been feeding us breadcrumbs to Miles Morales' live-action appearance, dating all the way back to Homecoming. It's gonna happen sooner than later. And finally, we have the rumored return, which we can basically confirm, of J.K. Simmons returning as J. Jonah Jameson.
Thanks for the good news.
There's no one else in this universe, at least, that I can see playing J. Jonah Jameson as well as J.K. Simmons, so it's always great to hear him come back, because I really want to hear him say, "Think, Spider-Man!"
Are you sure?
But I actually think he could be very integral to the plot of Brand New Day as well. I need Peter Parker to be working for J. Jonah Jameson, because that's what makes that dynamic so damn interesting, is the fact that you contribute to your own slander. They could find a way to squeeze in this storyline of J. Jonah Jameson being the one that funds the experiment that turns Matt Gargan into the Scorpion. Speaking of Shang-Chi, I hope he got a new suit just like this one, because we know he's getting one in Doomsday. But dog, every new piece of information we get about Brand New Day just gets my excitement level to the roof. They've been saying that they're gonna do something that's never been seen in a Spider-Man movie in live action before, and all of this shit sounds like it would be that. You're telling me we're getting the Wolverine style Spider-Man movie in New York? I'm not gonna hold you. Take my damn money. But either way, that's all the news we have on Spider-Man Brand New Day so far. Let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow. Bye-bye.